Hello. First of all, I propose a new law because I've been walking around Auckland a lot lately, and this is what I think we should bring in. Anyone that's over the age of 7 years old and is on a skateboard on the pathway or on the road, what the law is, if they are coming down, everybody has the right to smash an elbow in their face or into the willy area or whatever area they have nowadays with all the different genders, right down there. And if they survive it, that's fine. They learn the skills to go on the road and be a better skateboarder, even though they're fucking adults. But if you hit them, then you get $50 from the government. I reckon that's a fair law because they're going down the paths and down the roads in the middle of traffic, willy nilly, not bothered. So they need to, like, they don't care. So if there's that law where you have the right to hit them in the balls or whatever or in the throat, then they learn how to duck and dive and they probably won't go on the pathway. Let's get it into Parliament or whatever system we have here. Another one. If someone's walking down the road, not looking where they're going, and they're looking at their phone, everybody has the right to walk up and just go smash their phone in their face. And if they survive that, great. They learn life skills. They learn something new that's going to be relevant. And if they don't survive it, and you get the phone in their face, you get $50 again from the government. I don't know who I talked to get that into power. I reckon we should do it. I've been walking a lot lately because I lived in a shithole, the one I talked about before. I moved out. I'm now staying with a friend in a nice place. I had showers. I can watch a TV. I watched TV for the first time in a while. I don't even want to go out. I just want to sit there, watch TV, and play FIFA. It's great, but where I was living, I had to walk a lot, and that's when I noticed the skateboarders and the fucking idiots on their phone everywhere you go. Other one is people on bikes, or as my dad calls it, cobs. Cobs. Didn't know what it was. Sitting in the car with my dad, driving around. Oh, look at this cob. Look at that cob over there. This cob cutting me off. Cob, cob, cob. I said, what's a cob? He goes, cunts on bikes. Cunts on bikes is what they are. And I seen an accident yesterday. I didn't see the accident. I was driving back here in Ellerslie, and there was a bit of traffic, not that much traffic, and a car beeps, and a guy gets off his bike, shouts at the driver through the window. So of course my radio gets turned to silence, and the window, I say with wind, it's electric. And I listen, and they're arguing over something. I couldn't really pick it out. Then the light went green, and the fucker off the bike kicks the guy's car full on. Like, fair enough, the guy shouldn't have beeped. He's an arsehole as well. But you've no right to kick someone's car. Cyclists, arseholes. I fucking hate them. So, one of the main reasons why I moved out of where I was I was covered in bites. I wouldn't even want to show the pictures. I was top to toe in bites, and there was cockroaches everywhere. It was disgusting. It was unlivable, and it was just rotten. You couldn't have anyone there. And the bites were everywhere. Like, I could put a picture up, but it'd have to be nude because for some reason they went for the bum area and around there and all the way up and down my legs. And I went to a pharmacist, and I went in and I asked, "Have you got any cream for these bites?" And she recommended some $15 cream, and I used it for about a week, and nothing happened. I just had weird bits of cream on me, and the cream is getting on me fucking clothes. It was everywhere, and nothing was working. The bites were still there. I had one on my tattoo there. It's gone now, thank fuck. But it was bulbous. I thought it was. I was going to be stuck with it forever. So I used the cream, and it wasn't. I'm sitting there in a bar talking to mates, and I'm saying these fucking bites, they're everywhere. I couldn't stop scratching. Everywhere I went, I was scratching. They were bleeding, they were seeping, they were sticking to my clothes. It was getting painful taking off socks. And then a drunk guy at the bar turns around and says, "Do you know what you need for your bites? Do you know what you should use? Toothpaste." And I went, "Do you know what? That makes sense, drunk man. That makes absolute sense because whenever I had acne as a teenager, I used toothpaste and it worked. And people tried all sorts of weird shit. They were telling you to drink, what was it, like fucking like grass water. What was it, Stingers nettle juice? Like drink the juice of nettles. And you try it all because you don't want to be a spotty teenager. But toothpaste worked. So I went, fucking thanks a lot, drunk guy. I went home and I put toothpaste on every single one of the spots, the bites, and they went. Like, they dried up overnight, and now they're all completely healed. So that's chalk that down to the drunk guy. 1-0. Pharmacist 0. Drunk guy 1. I have more faith in his medical advice than I have in a fucking pharmacist. You know, if you woke up and you go, oh shit, I think I've AIDS, and you go in, talk to the drunk guy, he'll tell you, rub some toothpaste on it, all the bits fall off, you're okay, you're brand new. So I was delighted. A big giant insect just flew against the window, and that was loud, because the big fuckers. I was trapped in a car with a cicada last week. We had to pull over. I did it. I jumped out the door like while the car was still moving, like a jump and a roll. I can't even fucking stand up without groaning and moaning anymore from trying to kick a football for a while. And then, but this time I've never moved that fast. I was out of the car because of a cicada. It was right behind me head, trapped in the window, going nuts. And I didn't want to be trapped in a car. And that was a big one that flew against the window. If there was no window there, it'd be embedded in the side of my head. And that's not fun. That's nowhere. But what was I talking about? The fuck was I talking about? Oh, the drunk guy. Yeah, the drunk guy. Because I'm a bit of a hypochondriac. I was in, like if someone says, oh, a sign that you have some sort of I don't know, cancer or whatever, is if your ear falls off. I'd be walking around going, Jesus, my ear is loose. Can you check my ear? Is that looser than your ear? Can we check our ears? And I had it once. We were in Melbourne, and they had this BYO restaurant, and I know of them now because I live in Auckland, and there's a few here. But before that, I've never experienced them. The idea in Ireland that you bring your own booze to a restaurant, it wouldn't work, because you do what we did, is you bring like 4 or 5 bottles of wine, whatever shit you want to bring, and you order starters or the kiddies meal, because that's all I can handle, and you sit there and you get drunk and you have a laugh with friends instead of sitting there tapping away at the wine and eating everything. We did the opposite, so we weren't very welcome. But we're sitting there, and I was sitting there, and I felt a bit weird, and I went into the toilet in the restaurant in Melbourne, and I spat in the sink, and my spit was all red, like it was all completely red, and I didn't know. I thought, shit, I got cancer, because I've seen Gran Torino. I've seen it when he spits up red blood at the end, or blood, because blood is red. When he spits up blood, and you go, oh, he's got cancer. I was freaked out, and I thought I had cancer, and I went back out to my friends, and I said, look, lads, I have something I need to talk to you about. I think I've cancer. I'm just spitting up a load of red. And then one of the lads turns around and just points out that I've been drinking red wine all night. I'm a fucking idiot too. So that was it. I was just spitting out the red wine. So I freak out. So the spots, I didn't know what was going on, but the drunk guy with his advice was amazing. Use toothpaste. But then the insects were still in the house. They're all over the place, all over the room. And I spent $50. I went to a DIY shop. I can't remember which one. And I spoke to the experts that work there, and it wasn't one of the kids that works there on the weekend. It was one of the old men that have been there for years. Like, that's their life. They love going in to sell you gardening crap and a fucking tap, the proper hose connection. They love it. They fucking love it. That's their life. So I went in and I said, look, I have a lot of pets. I don't have pets. Pests. I've got cockroaches. I'm pretty sure there's fleas. There's all sorts of crap going on there. What advice have you got? And he brought me over to this gel bait, these cockroach traps, everything. He brought me over to all these different things, little traps that basically the cockroach gets the bait, and it brings the bait back to the nest, and either the cockroach dies or the other cockroaches murder him, because they're cockroaches. They kill that cockroach and they eat that cockroach, and they get the poison from that cockroach, and then they die. Or else the original cockroach goes back and takes a shit, and then the other cockroaches eat his shit because they're fucking cockroaches, and eventually the queen dies, and then yay, they're all gone. But $50 I spent on all of this crap, and none of it worked. Absolutely none of it worked. And I'm sitting in the bar going, this is doing my head in. Like, they're still there. I'm not getting bitten as much, but the cockroaches are still there. And the drunk guy comes over and he says, I have advice for you. Now, the drunk guy knows what he's talking about, so I listened again, because he's a wise man. All drunk men are wise men. I said, yeah, what should I do? And he said, what you should do is go home, grab your toothpaste, and then set the fucking place on fire. Burn the building down and run away. That was his advice. Turns out he's just a lunatic that loves toothpaste. So, he was great with the medical advice, but not really with the home decoration or the home sort of taking care of your house. But I had to move out, and I spent the last few weeks. I found a new place. I'm moving to Parnell next week, and I can't wait. It's going to be a swimming pool, loads of stuff. I love Parnell. It's great. So I'm staying in a friend's now, and that's fantastic. But I was looking for a place. It's horrible trying to find a place, and a lot of people here use Trade Me. It's a bit old fashioned. Half the stuff that you're looking for is like half the places. It's all out of date. It just adds up when you call them. Oh, is this place still available? No, it's gone 2 weeks ago. Well, take your fucking ad down. Sitting here wasting my time. So a lot of people now use Facebook, the Facebook buy and sell sort of thing. And it's weird because when you're looking for a place, a lot of them take a picture of themselves when they're house hunting, going, "Hey, who wants to live with me?" And they're doing their pout. It's like a Tinder pic. Sometimes they have the Snapchat filters with the fucking with the fairy dust and the stars all around their face. Going, "Who wants to live with me? I'm willing to spend $150 a week. I want to live in the city centre. I want 2 bedrooms and 2 car parks, and I want my own shower." Like that, you don't want to live with these people. They're going to be high maintenance. Anybody who's that good looking and looking to live with you, you're never going to get a shower for the start. They'll be in the shower for about fucking 50 minutes, rubbing moist. One of the lads I lived with in the last place, I've never smelt like he smelt amazing. He'd have about half an hour shower, 40-minute shower, and then he's sitting there, he's singing his music. He's Indian, so he's singing his Indian music while he's rubbing cream all over himself, and he comes out immaculate. Does that about 4 or 5 times a day. So I could never shower. So this is the first time I've been clean in a while, which is nice. It's nice to smell okay. But yeah, the house hunting was weird. Like, 'cause the last place, yeah, it was a shithole. The place before that, it wasn't too bad. I met the girl it was a girl and 2 lads, and they were quite nice. The girl, it's the only time I seen her sober. After that, she was constantly drunk. I think she just fucking woke up. She was like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, you can't." Just walked around cross-eyed the whole time that we were there. But the first time I met her, she was sober and a lovely human. And the other 2 boys, they were lovely. One more in particular, I drank with him a few times, and they were a gay couple, which is nice, But when you live with a couple and you hear them have sex, like a male and female couple, sometimes you go, "Oh, isn't that nice? They're having sex." You might have a sneaky wank while you're listening. It's beautiful. But when it's 2 men, it's 2 big, strong men, the whole house shakes. It's like, up and down, riding each other, turning each other into dust. And it's right behind the wall, behind my head. The whole house is shaking, and they were in love, so they did it quite often. So you couldn't really live with that. And there's also another situation where between the hours of, I don't have to wake up early that often, but once between the hours of 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock in the morning, I had to wake up in the morning for a meeting, and they decided to play a fucking harmonica, a triangle, and a bell, and rave music for the fucking 6 hours outside my door. So I had to move out. So I'm walking around a lot, and I'm seeing all the I'm the skateboarders and stuff, and because I couldn't cook where I was, because the cockroaches, the last people, there was a family of 4 that lived in the room that I was in, apparently, and they used to eat their food off the floor, and they were scummy. It's disgusting. So I couldn't cook in the place, so I'd go out and I'd look around for food a lot, and I love a burger. And then I realised, here's a serious question: when is a burger not a burger? Right, so I'm hungry one day, and I said, I'm really in the mood for a dirty fucking burger. I love a Carl's Jr., but I thought, I'm on K Road, I'm going to walk around, and I heard of this place called Lord of the Fries. So, Lord of the Fries, they make good chips, and it's a burger place. And I go in, and it looks pretty nice, and fuck. And I'm looking at the chicken, and it said something like soy, and I thought, I ignored that, and the fish looked a bit weird. And I seen like beef normal burger, original burger. I said, I'll have one of them and the fries. And I got it, and I sat outside. And only as I'm sitting outside, I'm reading the menu, and it's saying like 55 cows. I think it was 55. I don't know. 55 cows were saved this month because you're eating this burger. Now, for one, I don't eat 55 cows a month. So fuck you, Lord of the Fries. And 2, when did you tell? I didn't know it was a vegetarian place. I had no idea. I'm sitting there. It even says beef veggie. a veggie beef. You shouldn't have beef in the fucking title. It should be called lumps of crap sellotaped together. It was the most disgusting thing I've ever had. The buns, it was drowned out by the buns and the sauce. And here's the thing, it was supposed to be healthy, right? You have to put extra sauce on to get rid of the taste of the shitty fucking soy veggie burger, whatever the shit was in there. We couldn't finish it. I struggled my way through it. It was rotten. Fuming. Don't go to the Lord of the Fries unless you're a weird hippie. And then what was the other place? Oh, then I went, I don't know why I went to an Italian place looking for a burger, but I was walking down and I seen this Italian place, Da Vinci's, classic Italian name, Da Vinci. It's synonymous with delicious food. So it's one of these typical Italian sort of restaurants. They're playing Dean Martin on repeat, and they've got pictures of Frank Sinatra signed, and I don't even think he ever signed pictures. I heard a story that he doesn't do signatures, but either way, somehow he signed the pictures in this restaurant, like as if he was there, So we're in, and so yeah, there's a bacon burger. I'm in the mood for a bacon burger. I think this was just after Paddy's Day, so Paddy's Day broke me. I'm getting too old, so I had a 4-day hangover, I think it was, which is the longest I've had. Jaeger should be banned, along with adults on skateboards and cobs. So I'm sitting there, I ordered a bacon burger. I'm like, yeah, delicious. And I sit down to eat it. And I went, hang on. And I open it. And there's no fucking burger in there. And they call it a bacon burger. There was loads of mushrooms and bits of bacon. So I brought her up thinking there was a mistake. And she said, no, that's the burger. It's bits of mushrooms and bacon. I said, but the burger is the burger. It's the fucking burger. This is just a mushroom and bacon bap. It's just a bap. And she goes, no, it's a burger. It says burger on the menu. I went, well, fuck. So that's twice. Twice I went out looking for a burger and couldn't find a burger, and they called it a burger, but it's not a burger. When is a burger not a burger? Fucking starving. So with that, because I was house hunting and I couldn't stay where I was, and I'm walking around a lot, when you want to go to your happy place, and my happy place is music, and especially two of the best concerts I've ever gone to in my life for the last few weeks. It was Guns N' Roses and Bruce Springsteen, and I loved it. And I've been listening to Guns N' Roses and Bruce Springsteen non-stop on the Spotify with the ads on cheap, and I couldn't get enough. I fucking loved it. And then I thought, what other bands did I used to listen to when I was listening to this music when I was a teenager? And it was Aerosmith and Bon Jovi. And because the other bands have new music out, I thought, what's Bon Jovi doing now? And I went and found his new album. And what's the name of the song he has? Hang on, I need to find it. Because I only listened to it once and I couldn't listen to it again. Never again. What was it called? Bon Jovi. There it is. I'm not going to play it because I know I'm not allowed, but I never want to listen to it again. The song was called This House Is Not For Sale. Like, sometimes rock stars need to go back on drugs and drink because they're running out of influences. If you're sitting there writing a song about real estate, you've lost it. You've lost the fucking ability to keep the crowd singing about, because I'll try and find the lyrics. You can find the lyrics yourself. And one of the greatest bands of all time when they're singing about fucking houses. Where's the lyrics? Because I know they used to have like songs like Bad Medicine, and I'm pretty sure that's all about drugs and the crazy days that they had. But the house is not for sale. I know it's probably a metaphor as well, but it's an old man. It's a very old man who compares anything to a house. You hear them. It could be the drunk guy in the bar. You hear him. He could be talking about his wife. He goes, my wife is like an old house. Doesn't matter how much money you put in her. Like a big old house with big rooms. Doesn't matter how much money you spend. It'll still be impossible to keep her warm in winter. It's very boring people that compare anything to an old house. And I can even imagine the writing process. John Bon Jovi is sitting there saying, look, it is all about metaphors, but we need lines about the feature wall. We need lines about indoor-outdoor flow. And I'm just waiting for someone to step up and go, no, I don't even know his name. John Bon Jovi. No, John Bon Jovi. You need lines, full stop. You need to get back into drugs. You need to go nuts and write a fucking proper song. This house is not for sale. So I think that's about 20 minutes. I tried to squeeze a lot in there. It was a few days late doing this podcast because of the 4-day hangover, the Paddy's Day. Jesus Christ, I was in pain. And but what I've learned is to do it again next year. I'm not going to stop. That was fun. But the most important thing that I've learned is that old drunk guys at bars, they're amazing for medical advice. Amazing. But when it comes to taking care of pest control, no. Don't burn the fucking place down. You won't get your bond back. Thanks for listening again.